It's Doug Coy for SoWhatDoYouThink.com with me from, well, actually, right Midtown Manhattan, I think, is
Actually, lower Manhattan, lower Manhattan.
Lower Manhattan. All right, so it's Coach Mike, and we've talked many times before, but let's start off, Mike. Got a couple things on my mind a lot, but one especially right now, hockey. You know, we could have a New York. Well, we're for sure going to have a New York or a New Jersey, LA game.
Yep.
So who do you think is going to pull this off? New York, New Jersey?
I'm leaning to the Devils. I think the Devils are going to pull this out in 7. That was my original call, and I'm sticking with it. Outside of 2 periods of this series, Devils have controlled the whole series. So I'm thinking eventually they're gonna get the.
So you've seen LA play.
Yeah.
They got a great
Scary.
goaltender. I mean, Quick has just been keeping them in the games.
Yeah, he's a scary goaltender.
Yeah. So if it is the Devils and LA, you want to make a prediction?
I'll go Devils in 6.
Wow.
Devils in 6.
Spoken like a true East Coaster.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm an Islander fan, but I'm a kind of a closet Devil fan. I've always liked Martin Brodeur. I think he's one of the greatest goaltenders to ever play the game. And I think he's a clutch guy, and I think he gets one more before he rides off into the sunset.
So what's your take on concussions? I mean, it is going to be a huge issue this year, as far as it always has been, but it's really coming to the forefront now. I don't know how many pro football players have, made suit against the NFL and all that kind of thing. I heard it was up to 150, maybe even more. I guess the question to be asked, and I coach football, you coach football, is it a safe sport?
You know what, Doug? In my opinion, I've done a lot of research, and I've spoken to a lot of doctors, and I've spoken to a lot of NFL people, and you know what? Unless you're prepared to live in a bubble, you have to live your life and just prepare yourself to do whatever you're going to do as best you can. And I believe the problem is not so much. I mean, look, you can get a concussion walking down the street, riding your bike. I mean, getting hit in the head. I know kids get concussions playing basketball, baseball, soccer. You can get hit in the head playing baseball. I know a kid that was riding a bike 2 weeks ago, went over the front of the bike without a helmet on, got a concussion. Okay, so I think what you need to do, I think the solution is in the coaching and the teaching and the awareness. And obviously, step 1 comes with providing yourself with the best equipment as possible, which we do in our program. We got top quality, the best helmet you can have. Secondly is the actual coaching and teaching kids how to block, how to tackle, how to run, keeping their head in the right position, not lowering your head. And that's something I know the NFL is very big on with youth sports, is putting people in position in the youth programs to teach kids to play the game the right way, to tackle right, to have your head up. I think that's where the solution is going to be. Because look, I mean, you can get a concussion doing anything. I mean, you can get a concussion driving a car down the street. Unless you're going to just lock yourself and your kids in a bubble, you have to tackle the solution head on. Use a point of phrase, tackle. But I mean, that's where I think the solution is. I think the solution is in the awareness and the preparation of doing it.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like a sport like boxing, which you're taking. I mean, you're there to knock the other guy out. Let's face it.
Exactly.
That's the ultimate in boxing.
Exactly.
Like you said, I mean, when I was doing football, it scares me to think about this. I was a defensive halfback. We were taught what was referred to as spearing, and
Right.
you lead with your head. You remember that tackle? And they said, right here in the chest, you come in, you wrap your arms, take the guy out. It's a great tackle. And they don't teach that anymore, thank goodness. That's an illegal tackle. I believe it is anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I agree with you. It is in the coaching. And then when we get this kind of press about a guy who is coaching and telling his players there's an extra bonus if you can take a player out of the game, that kind of stuff just can't happen. I mean,
No, that just makes things worse. It just really gives a black eye to the sport. And I commend Goodell for coming down on them the way they did.
Yeah.
I think you have to set an example, and I think he did. And
So, in your program, do you see many injuries with the kids? Now, I know that both of my grandsons play, and neither one of them, I think, have ever missed a game. And they played now, I think this is their 3rd or 4th year.
yep.
what's your take on that? I mean, there are obviously little injuries here and there, but for the most part, let's come
Right. We
back.
haven't had a lot of concussions, to be honest with you. We've had a couple. We had one fairly serious one with our 13-year-olds. The kid got blindsided, cheap shot, really. And, the kid was out for a while, and, we took care of it. We had him taken to the hospital, and we took all the proper precautions. One of the things we're going to do this year is we're going to have an athletic trainer, medically trained, like EMT type guy, at every single game to basically spot these guys and mark it, to see if you see a kid coming off the field a little groggy. And the other thing we're encouraging is the kids themselves to talk to their, if you see one of your buddies on the field get dinged really good, come off the field, let the coaches know, hey, he took a good pop, and just check on him. You know what I mean?
I'm going to let you get back to work there, and thank you so much. And hopefully your weather improves, and our weather will improve, and everything will be great.
My pleasure, Doug. Check in whenever you like.
Okay, Mike, and we'll talk to you probably next week or something.
Very good, pal.
Okay, buddy. Bye-bye.